Hey everybody, welcome to stream. Hold on for just a moment while we just make sure everything is good and I'm live. But yeah, welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Back some more Pokemon Sword and Shield shiny hunting. I needed a little bit of a break away from monotony of doing all this really and just need some time to myself, and I think it's done a little bit of good. Hopefully things will be a little better. I mean, I can't make any promises about this, but we'll see. Anyway, how's everybody? Whoa, okay, that's not right. We were only supposed to do one. I don't know why I ended up on two. Anyway, like I was saying, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully good. Things have been alright for me. I apologize for the kind of late start. Not really that late, because I didn't start really like anywhere from like 2 to 5 or even later, sometimes earlier. But hey, welcome everybody. You're all doing good. Oh man, it's been an interesting past few days. I've had a lot of things going on, and there's been a lot that's gone on the internet, I'd say, that's just in general worth talking about. I guess before we say anything else, I'm just gonna say, like, I do have a little bit of good news. Not anything that big of a deal, but, like, I actually picked up a new cell phone a few days ago, or not a few days ago, like, maybe 2 days ago, and it's very, very useful. Very, like, it's been handy for everyday life, and also, I've been having cell phone problems, so finally getting it replaced has been very, very good to finally get a working phone again. Hey, Anime Traps, welcome to the stream. Long time no see. Good to see you. Oh shit, I thought I'd touch the statue. Whatever, as long as we get over here and encounter Regice, that's all that matters. So, right. I guess one thing I was wanting to discuss that's been kinda on my mind, it's namely just Twitch. Not gonna make a point out of discussing it for like a long time, but like, I've gotta say I'm surprised at how fucking big of a mess Twitch is right now. I mean, I think everybody knows about what happened yesterday, but there's also some other shit that's going on. Not like a whole lot of things that are going too wrong as far as I can tell, but their site keeps crashing every day. I was watching Twitch, like, recently, and I remember just sitting down watching somebody that I watch every now and then for a little bit, and then all of a sudden when I went okay to check some stuff, I come back to see the page breaking again. It's funny how they're, like, so anti-ad block that they're literally just fucking tearing their website apart. Goddamn, trying to make everything work the way they want it to. It's like, Twitch, this is kind of embarrassing how bad your site's running. It's not funny when your site's crashing every day and people are making a joke out of you. If it's like, this keeps up, nobody's gonna want to use Twitch anymore. Finally got all the main Regice shinies and Regice. That's good. As you can see, I'm still on my second hunt right now, and good lord am I losing my mind doing this ever so often. Like, this is just taking way longer than it needs to. I've looked up, like, a few videos out of comparison, and, like, I know I'm taking a while on this, even though I wasn't intending to. I'll be honest, I don't have the stamina like some people do to go on for hours and sit here and do resets, but I checked on, like, some YouTube videos, and I swear every person I've looked up who's done Regice has had a significantly shorter shiny hunt than what I have. There's, like, a few that are, like, 10,000, but the majority of them are, like, only at, like, 1,000 up to 1,500 or beneath 2,000 at most. There's, like, a few that pass over 2,000. Meanwhile, this hunt is taking way too long and taking significantly longer than necessary to end. I'm feeling like it's fucking draining away my willpower to keep going with this, and I hate it. I just want it to end already. I just want to move on from Regice onto another target already, and it won't shine. I'm not hopeful that it'll end today, but I hope it does. I really, really want this to be over with. Oh man, Regice is... That's going to be one that's a little rough, since I know you can only do, like, soft resetting and not anything else. I mean, The one benefit to Regigigas is it feels like, hey, you just spot whether or not it's shiny, you reset your game, and you don't have to think about it any more than that. That's something that I feel like will be a little bit relieving. There's no need to, like, contemplate anything while you're hunting it like these guys, like which method is better, anything else like that. You don't have to pay attention for a good shiny that's easy to spot or not, because Regigigas' shiny sticks out pretty well, in my opinion. If I'm being honest, like, looking at all the Regi shinies, I genuinely think my favorite is Regigigas. Regigigas has, like, I'd say it's not super, or, like, unique, but it's noticeable enough that it looks really good. And it's got a very, very nice shiny color to it. Like, it looks like something that suits it well, and I find his to be the best shiny out of the whole group, in my opinion. It's not like any of the others are bad, just Regigigas has a very pretty shiny, in my opinion. Too bad his ability is garbage and not worthwhile and competitive at all. Like, I know he has that slow start ability, and apparently slow start is absolute trash for actually battling. Yeah, I've actually heard, I don't know much about, like, competitive Pokemon. I know, like, a bit of it from what I've heard from, like, looking around at, like, different stuff regarding, like, competitive, and apparently there's, like, a good strap that's being developed around Regigigas that works in doubles, and you can have, like, a coughing loose, and you can have coughing use neutralizing gas, and then you can use that to get Regigigas to move quicker and be actually useful if you're playing doubles. That sounds like it's kind of useful. Yeah, I haven't used Master Ball on much stuff unless it's a necessity. I used mine, or one of mine that I have left over from my two profiles on Regidrago, because I'll be honest, I tried using Premier Balls. I kept throwing them at them and throwing it at, like, trying over and over and over again, and it would not stay in the Premier Ball. It kept waking up from sleep, and I was nervous that it was going to struggle itself to death, so I tossed a Premier Ball, not Premier Ball, just a Master Ball at it. I do not like using Master Balls on Legendaries, though, not unless it's a necessity. I'm honestly thinking, now that I've used a Master Ball on Regidrago, and hopefully I can avoid problem with the other four. Like, if I still have them all, I might use one on Regieleki just to have the two of them matching up, and hopefully the other three could be caught in Premier Balls. That would actually be a decent way to keep them matching up. I've actually thought about, like, what kind of Pokeball I want to use on Regigigas, like, beforehand, because I know Regigigas has a 100% capture rate, so I'm going to use a Beast Ball on it, and I hear Beast Ball looks really good. Plus, the blue kind of works with Regigigas' shiny, so I think that'll be a nice color to use on it. Probably look really good, so why not? Oh man, I am not looking forward to doing this fucking shiny hunt more, though. I want this hunt to end already, considering the fact that it's taking way too fucking long. I just want to be done with the Regis and be able to fucking go back to doing other stuff. It's not very fun overall. Not terrible, but still. Let's see. They're both Steel and Heavy. Fucking Leviathan, Lurbulb, and Drago and Luxury. Nice. I was trying to go for a matching set of 5 in Premier Balls, but that didn't work out with Regidrago, and I'll be honest, unlike some people, I have no patience to sit there and, like, reset the game even longer if I end up shiny failing over something stupid like not getting the capture in a Pokeball I want. If I was to have it die because I kept tossing Premier Balls, I would actually just feel depressed and really, really upset, so I had to just, like, suck it up and throw the Master Ball, because I was not ready to let Regidrago pass me by after wasting all that time sitting there redoing the pattern and running away from it. Like, I was ready to be through with it. Good lord, when this Regice hunt is over, oh, I'm gonna be so grateful. I'm gonna make a. This isn't likely to happen. In fact, I doubt it will. But I'll make a promise regarding these shiny hunts really quick. If I actually get my Regice, well, or not Regice, I meant to say Regirock, like fairly shortly after Regice, like I get it within 1,000, I'll move on to the next one like really quickly. But the way things are looking right now, and how the first shiny hunt took like nearly 2,500, and this one is taking like God knows how many, and could be up to 3,000. I don't think we're gonna get it quickly. Like if I get Regirock quickly, I'll do Registeel this month too. But I'm thinking right now that I'm going to take like a break between shiny hunts. I think I'm gonna lose my mind if I charge straight into Registeel without a break. I don't know if I can handle that right now. Regidrago took 6 or 7 days of non-stop hunting, day and night. Oh, that's pretty bad. I've been doing this in a not so pleasant manner since I've been doing it like on stream and doing it every day. Even though it's non-stop, it's definitely the point where it's absolutely mentally and physically draining just being able to set up like 2 or 3 hours every day to do this, and then come on and like waste extra time, and like knowing when I screw up and don't end up getting anywhere, like it's just gonna take longer and longer, and it feels like it's wasting away my time. And if I take any time away from it, then it's just longer it'll be before I get it. So it's like, rather than switching games, might as well just keep trucking through it and trying to get it over with. And well, it's been painful to say the least. At least I can relax after Regice, though. My biggest panic with this thing is that I won't be able to notice that, in fact, the shiny pops out when it shows up. I mean, it's the whole reason I took to using a Regice for my other profile, and I'm using it for a head-to-head comparison so I can tell, like, what the color looks like easier and make sure I'm able to tell if it's shiny without any problem. But I'm ready for this to be done with and not actually have to think about it anymore. I was surprised how quickly I noticed Regidrago's shiny color. I noticed Regidrago like immediately, and I was expecting that I wouldn't be able to tell with Regidrago. But nope, as soon as it showed up, I immediately looked at its like sides, and it stood out like a fucking, like, I'm not sure how that's what word is. It stood out like really well, excuse me. Like it did not take much to notice that Regidrago looked different, and it was very, very easy to spot it, to say the least. It was easier than I was thinking it would be, at least. I'm gonna be honest when it comes to the Regi shinies, actually. I see a lot of people, like, saying both the new ones are not that good, and while I can kind of agree that Regidrago's doesn't look great in terms of shiny color, I can't really say I hate Regieleki in terms of his shiny. Could it be better? I'm almost certain, yeah, it could be better. They could have changed the color to something that actually is noticeable and not fucking just changed a little coil around it. But I mean, when I look at Regieleki and like stare at it, not even stare really, I can just look at it a little bit. That white coil sticks out really, really well. You don't need to be like eyeballing Regieleki to tell it's shiny and pay attention to it. Regice, you might. Same with Regidrago, but I don't think the Regieleki shiny is that terrible. I don't think it's great, because it could be better, but I mean, I like the color of it. I think the white on the color actually, the white coloring looks kind of nice, actually. I don't know. I might be in the minority in that part, but I still think Regieleki looks good. I'm still very, very sore about how the shiny locking in this DLC went, though. Out of all the things they could shiny lock, they fucking shiny lock the goddamn birds, and they leave the new Regis, these, like, unlocked. It's like, really? You give us these awesome looking shinies and then tell us we can't have them, and yet you put in 2 shinies that are pretty well like, or seeing how's our for this? Try to describe this. You know, what I'm trying to say, like, the community is pretty unanimously agreeing on that have some kind of not so great shiny colors, and you leave them unlocked. But the ones everybody want are the ones that are fucking shiny locked. Like really, we can't get the birds. We can have the Regice. Like, ugh, Game Freak. You make me so angry when you do this kind of crap. I really wish it would have been the birds that got the no shiny lock instead. I would have been much more excited to go after Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos in the wild rather than doing this. Would it have been a huge amount of fun? No, because I imagine if you did, you'd probably still have to go after them the way you do normally and tail them on your bike. But I mean, it would have been more worthwhile, in my opinion, than doing two shinies that aren't even that impressive looking overall. I don't know. I feel like it's a missed opportunity. Calyrex's shiny doesn't even look that great. I don't really care about that one too much. The horses look pretty good, but I'm not even upset about those being shiny locked. I never really gave two shits about that either way. It is annoying how every time there's like a new set of legendaries, Game Freak is always quick to shiny lock stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I personally hate shiny locking, and I feel like the game should be better off without it. It doesn't really help anything, and you could argue it doesn't hurt anything, but like, what exactly are you benefiting by forcibly shiny locking the Pokemon? It's like, oh cool, somebody can get a shiny that somebody else didn't. So like, is that really a big deal that one person has a shiny where somebody else doesn't? And if you're dedicated, then I mean, you could probably go after it and get it on your own. It's like, it's really not worth like shiny locking all these Pokemon, and if you want to give them away, then just give them away without a shiny lock. Like, it's absolutely infuriating that they insist on shiny locking. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in the minority with that opinion. I think that's safe to assume is like most of the Pokemon community doesn't like shiny locking, and I fucking hate it with the passion. There's nothing more lame than picking up a game and then like going to go after certain Pokemon, and then like, oh nope, these are all shiny locked. The ones you're actually interested in are not touchable with the shiny, so nope. No Zamazinterization. Also, no Galarian, Moltres, Zapdos, or Articuno, so yeah, have fun having all the best shiny options that you're really interested in getting, just being fucking completely shiny locked, so ugh. I think I've seen the Cubfu and Dorishfu shinies on like a Twitter post. I've got to be honest, and I've looked at the shinies. I am not impressed with the shiny colors. It's like a minimal change on both of them. It looks ugly as fuck, to be honest. Like, I'm not happy with shiny locks, but it's really, really weird that Game Freak has gotten into this habit of making minimalistic shinies that are just bad looking. Excuse me, I had a fucking hair get on my tongue. I think, ugh, I hate that feeling. It feels nasty as hell. It's weird how, like, looking at like, Gen 8 shinies, and I'm not sure, I think it's, like, Gen 6 or whatever, they started, like, manually selecting shinies, but, like, you look at some of the shinies that are, like, manually picked by a person, and they look worse than the shinies that are computer-generated. You'd think all the shinies that are picked by a person would actually look good. Instead, there's a handful of them look like garbage for some reason. I guess that's what Game Freak's way of trying to discourage people from shiny hunting. It's like, oh, well, maybe if we put it where it's not noticeably different in the first place, people want to go after the shiny. It's like, fuck off, Game Freak. Why can't you put in, like, shinies that actually look noticeably different instead of, like, trying to kill people's enthusiasm for them? Yeah, there's some that aren't too bad. I don't really care for the ones that look nearly identical to their original shiny, personally. I'm under the opinion, and I don't know if many people would agree with me, that we should get a shiny overhaul for some of the Pokemon in the series. Like, I don't think Game Freak will do it, but I think at least on some of these shinies, there should be like a point where we have like I don't know when, they could do it in 9th, 10th generation or whenever they finally decide they'll get off their asses and try, but sit down and redo some of these shiny Pokemon and make them look better. Like, if they really wanted to, and they're really concerned about people, like, complaining about how the shinies got changed, they could leave some of the shinies as, like, having a second shiny and leave the original version of the shiny in the game, and then put an updated shiny in the game alongside it. Take all the shinies that have nearly unnoticeable shinies that look terrible, and then redo their color palettes, and give them shinies that actually are noticeable, and put them in the game and make it possible to obtain them. That would be something that would go a long way for improving the shiny variety in the games, if you ask me. There's a lot of them that could use that work, and it seems like there's probably one from, like, at least every generation, or maybe I'm misremembering, but there's a lot of shinies that are not so good. I can think of quite a few, and I can name... Let's see, I'm not sure if I can think of too many from 2nd gen, or any that are, like, stuff that sticks out of my mind. I can remember quite a few, like, 1st gen, the whole fucking line of Abra, like the Abra line, looks pretty bad until it turns into Alakazam, and it's pretty awful just how they're, like, barely different. Then there's also Gengar, who looks like he's barely different unless you Mega Evolve or Gigantamax Gengar, so yeah, Gengar has like a really trash shiny. I wish I could remember Gen 2. I'm sure there's one I'm forgetting about, but none of them come to mind. Gen 3, Blaziken's like the most easily notable thing I can remember from Gen 3. Also, it's not unnoticeable, but I can say, like, Kyogre and Groudon. I had to question what the fuck happened between these two shinies. Even though I like the colors to an extent, they look kind of trash, to be honest. They're not terrible because they aren't, like, unnoticeable, but good fucking lord. Who thought the idea of putting a pink Kyogre and a yellow Groudon as shinies was a good idea? Their shiny colors look like total ass, honestly. Like, they could have chose some better shiny colors. If you really look at the legendary trio from Gen 3 and, like, compare the shinies, Rayquaza got the best shiny, hands down. The other two got the short end of the stick, like, really goddamn hard. Also, yeah, Regice could use a fucking overhaul as well. Regice would be one of those shinies that actually feels like it would need a little bit of improvement. It might just be me. Actually, looking at, like, Gen 4 and 5, I looked at Gen 6, I don't mind theirs, but, like, with the Gen 4 and 5 legendaries, like, I swear to God, some of the Gen 4 and Gen 5 legendaries look like they had, like, no thought whatsoever put into their shiny palettes. Like, they barely look noticeable. You can say that for Zekrom, Kyurem, and Reshiram. The only, like, actual redeeming quality is when you like fuse like any of the Kyurem forms together. They look significantly better as shinies. Like, it's pretty bad how all three of them have like trash looking shinies. And that's not even getting started on fucking Tornadus and Thundurus and Landorus, who all look pretty similar to their original colors as well. It's like, I had to question what the hell was going on with the Gen 5 legendary shinies. Like, those look really bad in my opinion. And as far as Gen 4 goes, I'm thinking here, I mean, I don't have any problem with the Lake Trio or Cresselia. Cresselia is fine. Giratina looks great, but the rest of them are pretty bad. Honestly, Giratina's got a fucking sick shiny. Giratina might be one of my favorite shinies in Pokemon. It just looks really, really good. The color's a little strange, but goddamn, I'd be lying if I said it didn't look badass. The main form is not as good in my opinion in terms of looks. It doesn't look terrible. It still looks great, but origin form and shiny look fucking amazing in my opinion. see. I'm thinking here. I guess Gen 7 was alright. I didn't really pay much attention to the stuff in Gen 7. It was one of the gens that I had like the least interest in. Most of the shinies from like legendaries and a lot of the shinies I've seen in Gen 7 look overall pretty good, so I don't have any complaints with them. Let's see. I'm thinking on Gen 8 stuff. I think most of the stuff I've seen in Gen 8, yeah, I like it overall. The only problem is the best ones are the ones that are shiny locked, which is fucking really stupid, honestly. And I fucking hate that. Even most of the normal Pokemon that I've seen from, like, new additions to Gen 8 look pretty good. The only one I can say that I don't really love that I remember is... I feel like Appleton kind of looks like they didn't put any effort into his shiny. Like, it's only his head. And I see people, like, evolve Applin into it all the time and, like, brag about it, and it's like... it's fine to pick what you want for your shiny color and all, and pick what you want to choose, but I don't understand why you think that Appleton looks better than Flapple in shiny color when you're picking between the two of them. It's like... Applin evolving into Flapple looks significantly better and significantly more noticeable. Like, goddamn, they definitely made Flapple more cool looking shiny out of the two of them, if you ask me. Excuse me, let's see. And dirty and nasty shinies like dark green. Yeah, there's a lot of that where there's some that are not good. You could get into a topic of like all the bad looking shinies as well. Like, there's plenty of those out there. Funny how the evolutions are like an even split between like crap looking and not crap looking, with Espeon being like the one that's kind of polarizing. I don't think it looks great. Honestly, I don't love it. I don't hate it either, but Espeon's green looks so goddamn bad on the eyes when you like look at it. I feel like they could have picked any color and they would have probably gotten a better choice than just going for green. Whereas Umbreon, oh yeah, I was talking about like shinies I didn't like from Gen 2. It's not a terrible, terrible shiny, but like, yeah, Espeon shiny could definitely use like a redo, in my opinion. Espeon's green color does not look that good, honestly. I feel like they should have used another color. Umbreon has such a subtle shiny, and it looks fucking incredible. Possibly my favorite out of like all the evolutions. Like Espeon's light blue where it's like normal yellow look actually great. They're such a small detail, and yet when you compare them and look at how they look on the shiny, it is night and day how different the shiny looks. And it looks so pretty. Like, I find Umbreon to have a fantastic shiny color. If I get another spare Eevee at some point, definitely going to evolve one up into an Umbreon. I think Umbreon is a good shiny to go for, so I'd be down to do that. Oh yeah, the shinies for the fossils look pretty cool. I like how they're all matching as a set, honestly. They look pretty good. I want to do some shiny hunts of all the fossil Pokemon at some point, maybe. I don't know if I'm going to bother, because by the time I get done with this crap, who knows how long it could be, but there's so many fossil Pokemon that were added into the game now, and I'm like uncertain which one I want to hunt if I ever get around to them. I've got a lot of hunts that I've been like putting on the back burner that I've been interested in. One of the big ones that I've been thinking about, and I think I mentioned it on Discord already, I have been thinking about doing a Beldum shiny hunt at some point, and I think I might do that after this, depending if I'm like in the mood to start on it right away and go straight into it, if I want to do Regirock first, because I want to get Regirock before I take a break from shiny hunting. But Beldum is fucking great looking, and I kind of want to go after the Beldum line, grab a shiny Beldum. And shiny looks great. It's been one of my favorites. You know, if I can like say anything about shinies, I think Gen 3 may have been like one of the best points for shinies. Not only did it introduce like a good pool of amazing shinies, but also in general it changed like a lot of shinies for the better. Like, you can't look at the way Gen 3 handled things and then try telling me that Charizard doesn't look better with its Gen 3 and onward shiny than it did in Gen 2. I don't think the Gen 2 shiny looks bad per se, but goddamn, I would probably find you crazy if you told me that Charizard looks better in purple than he does in fucking black, because that shiny is incredible looking. Charizard has, like, easily one of the strongest shinies in Pokemon, and people love to criticize and talk about Charizard and shit talk it because it's the base of Gen 1 pandering lately, but when it comes to shiny Pokemon, it's hard not to like Charizard. Charizard has a fucking really well-designed shiny. It looks incredibly badass, so it's only natural to think it looks good. Like, it's hard not to like it. Out of all the starters in Gen 1, like, I think Charizard has the best looking shiny. I don't think any of the others come close. They're good looking, but Charizard is leagues above. That black just suits Charizard really, really well, in my opinion. I'm not actually sure out of the two others which one I like more, actually. Venusaur and Blastoise both have fairly good-looking shiny colors, actually, so tough to say. I think I kind of like the green shell on Blastoise, maybe a slight bit better overall, so I don't know. I guess it really just comes down to, like, personal preference when you all boil it down. Also, yeah, Metagross is good. Beldum, Metagross, and Metang all look great and shiny. They're definitely some of the best shinies, in my opinion, especially when it comes to Gen 3. They look really, really good. It's always fun to discuss, like, which Pokemon are the best and have, like, the best shiny colors. There's a lot of good ones out there. Also, since I bothered to talk about, like, Gen 3 stuff, I'm gotta be honest, I think I have a little bit of a soft spot for Gen 3, and also, I don't know if I've said this on the stream or not. I'm planning to go after all the Gen 3 legendaries on stream. I don't know if I care to do Deoxys and Jirachi or not, especially since those are locked at, like, maximum shiny odds, and I also don't know if I had the patience to go through Jirachi. Like, I could try. I'd have to do it through emulation, but that might be rough to sit there and doing. I shouldn't do that. I don't know how people manage on older generations that are, like, pre-Shiny Charm. I don't think I can manage the idea of doing a 1 out of 8,000 shiny hunt. I think I've tried with Celebi, and I got really tired of doing it after so long and kind of gave up. Maybe if I really was determined, I could bother and sit down and do it, but it seems like a lot of effort to sit there and go through all that for a single shiny. It's too much work, in my opinion. I don't know. Part of what I like about Dynamax Adventures, actually, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Dynamax Adventures turns shiny hunting from being a fucking chore into something that's actually fun, and makes it where it's actually a lot less monotonous and a lot more enjoyable, like sitting down, targeting a Pokemon and going after it. I mean, I'm sure if you have to waste a lot of time, it can get really bad. I've been watching A-Drive do some shiny hunting on Dynamax Adventures, going after like a Solgaleo, and guys getting near like 300 encounters with the shiny charm, so I can imagine under some circumstances it's not very fun, but overall it seems like a pretty decent shiny hunting method. I thought of, like, picking up another game for shiny hunting, actually, but I don't think I have any interest. I mean, right now I've got Let's Go, so I'm gonna stick to that for the time being. Also, fuck, I need my ceiling fan on. Some point, I want to get back into doing more Let's Go stuff on stream. I don't know if it's going to be any time too soon, though. It's been more finding time to manage it where I feel like I can go after it because I want to put my priorities on doing these legendary hunts that I'm interested in at the moment, and then maybe go back. I think there's a new event coming up in Go. I've been, like, unable to play it. I don't play it that much, but I haven't had a good chance to play because of my phone being screwed up, and I'm actually, like, right about to claim that shiny Celebi. I'm thinking of just leaving it on my Go account and then hope they take the restrictions off of, like... Well, I'm not expecting it for Let's Go, but, like, if they make a new Let's Go, I'm hoping the restriction for Mew isn't going to be in place again, and that they'll put in, like, an opportunity to let you bring Celebi up and bring up shiny Celebi as well, so I would like to hold on to it and see if I can do that with it. I don't know if I care about Go too much. How do you guys feel about Pokemon Go, actually? I'm curious. Anybody here play Pokemon Go, or do you guys kind of not bother with it? I didn't play it until it came for, like, time for Shiny Meltan to get released, and my reasoning is pretty obvious, considering the fact that I've mentioned before I want my shiny living dex and Go, or not going to say Let's Go, so I personally don't really care to sit down and bother with doing all that. You got a shiny Celebi from a Game Boy and trade? That's pretty impressive. I'm assuming that's using, like, some of the techniques you can use for, like, doing shiny stuff you do, like, know what you're doing, but I've never heard of anybody using a trade to get a Celebi like that. I tried the Celebi stuff a little bit on Crystal version. Good lord, sitting there trying to do, like, resets on that gets fucking mind-numbing after too much time, though. It's just a lot of time to waste for a single shiny that's like 1 out of 8,000, so I don't know if I had the patience for it. I mean, better than doing Manaphy or Jirachi, though. I feel bad for anybody who's tried to get Manaphy. I hear Manaphy's like the biggest drag out of every shiny hunt, because you have to do like a huge process, and that's even if you have like the R cart, what are they called? I can't remember the name of them, R4 carts or whatever, like those to make it so you can save your game at a certain point and just keep reloading the Manaphy thing. Like, I could not imagine going through that crap and like sitting there sending eggs to a profile and like collecting like 5 of them, doing it over and over again, trying to hatch a shiny one on another profile. It seems like it'd be crazy. On a shiny Celebi, I think it's alright. I don't think I'm going to need one. I mean, I've actually been messing around with it quite a bit on Go, and I know they've been doing the little event. The only thing that's actually holding me back right now from getting Celebi is the fact that now that I've got a new phone, there's, well, really 2 things, I guess. The big one is the fact I've been waiting on the fucking rocket balloons to pop up, and I've been getting very few of the ones with Jesse and James in them, and very many of the ones that are just stupid and rocket grunt balloons, and also I don't like to get out and walk a whole lot, and it's fucking cold as fuck where I live right now, so the idea of getting out and doing a lot of exercise while I'm forced to freeze my ass off sounds like a real pain in the ass. I mean, I could go out and fucking cheese it by going to the right spot and just driving really slowly, and frankly, I'm contemplating doing that for the egg part, because I don't care about, like, wasting time on the Celebi thing. I want to get it. The real thing I'm having a little bit of conflict is if I want to pay any money to actually get that Go Pass thing next month, then I want to go for shiny Mew. I mean, obviously this is an easy chance to get a Mew, and it's like $12 or something, but it's like, even if I do want this, is there going to be another chance? And also, on top of that, it's like, do I want to pay for this? This one, I can't even bring it over to my Let's Go. It's like a giant, like it's really getting me up in arms, unable to decide what I want to do about the whole thing. A little frustrating, frankly. I don't know what to do right about that right now. I guess I'm gonna have to decide whether or not I want to get it. I might pick it up anyway and try to get the Mew just for the sake of if they fix the transfer. I still hate Game Freak for letting it be where you can get every Pokemon in Shiny, but then when it comes to Mew, it's like, oh, nope, can't bring Mew from Go, and now they're finally giving a chance to collect Shiny Mew, but nope, there's no method to bring it over to Let's Go, so still going to have an incomplete Pokédex no matter how you look at it. That's something that bothers me quite a bit. Not really a huge deal, but it's enough to sour my mood a little bit. I hope they make it so we can get more of the shinies from different generations over some point without having Go, honestly. And bet they'll probably bring back like Arceus, Darkrai, and Shaman over like a Gen 4 remake, so I guess there's that. But I mean, it'd be cool if there was more to it than just doing like Pokemon Go stuff. I mean, at least they're giving us options, I guess, but whatever. Well, yeah, I don't think I've brought this up yet. Excuse me. I actually was like meaning to like talk about this earlier. It's a Twitch thing that happened. Like, how does everybody feel about the whole like removal of PogChamp from their emotes? I found it really, really weird. I know the guy who was behind and PogChamp was actually like kind of a racist loser, and like he ended up going crazy on some post like a day or two ago. That's why he got his remote removed from Twitch and got like banned. But like, I honestly wonder if it's worth the cost of like taking the emote down. It's like, it's not terrible, but at the same time, it's like you're throwing away one of your legacy emotes. It's like, I don't know. Is it really worth it? Maybe it's just me. It's like, I feel like maybe it's better to just leave the emote and try to distance themselves from like the guy who made the emote instead. Like, I don't know if I'm in the right here, but I feel like distancing like the actual like meaning of the emote and like the creator is not really that hard, not really a big of a deal. I feel like leaving PogChamp for its use on Twitch rather than getting rid of it would have been a better option than just fucking getting rid of it and deleting it off the site instead of like deleting it and trying to remove any trace of like the creator's influence on Twitch overall. Actually, Twitch has gotten into like a weird spot where there's been a lot of weird changes right now, and there's been a lot of shit that's going on, like drama-wise on Twitch. We'll have to talk about in a second. Like, there's been a lot of crazy shit that I've been meaning to talk about going on. I mean, some of it for good reason, though. Hang on a second, actually. I think I missed a message. 3 hat shiny Mews on Let's Go. Yeah, I don't really take any hat shinies on any of my games. If I get one that's hacked, I'd usually release it. So even if somebody offered me a shiny Mew on the game, I'd probably not accept it. I want the idea, if I get shinies on my profile, I want them to be clean and things I obtained through my own effort, so I'd rather just go through the process of hunting them. It's still bothering me a little bit, though, that there's no actual method to get a Mew in Let's Go that's just like, oh, no, there's nothing you can do. You can only get Pokeball Plus, and you can get a non-shiny Mew, but you're never going to have that shiny Mew. And literally everything else, besides the partner Pokemon, who really don't matter in the long run, are not shiny locked. It's like, yeah, have fun with that. Even the Alolan trades are shiny free, where you can actually get them, and still takes effort, but I mean, hey, you can get everything else otherwise. It bothers me a little bit that there's no way. I guess maybe there's a chance they'll disable it for the Kanto Tour thing, but I'm not getting my hopes up. If they do, then I'll give them credit where it's due that they released the shiny lock, but I'm willing to bet that Mew's not going to be transferable even through this Kanto Tour thing, and it's probably going to be stuck as the only thing in Let's Go that you can't obtain a shiny of. It'd be nice, though, if they did. Fucking, they released the lock and let you get stuff through Pokemon Home for, like, Sword and Shield, but when it comes to Let's Go, oh, nah, Mew's still gonna be locked. Nope, Game Freak still gives everybody who plays that game the middle finger, but whatever. Anyway, let's see. I was talking about some Twitch shit that came up. There's been a lot of, like, Twitch bans going on recently that's, like, going on. It's been kind of a mess lately, and I don't love talking about it, but, like, it's kind of hard to ignore all the crap that's going on and the bad stuff in the world. And, yeah, it's an unfortunate part of the internet is a lot of crap happens and a lot of not so pleasant crap at that. Like, apparently Call Me Carson was preying on minors online and he got Twitch banned. I'm honestly surprised. It seems like a lot of, like, really creepy, fucked up shit has happened over, like, recent years. Like, this has happened, not even recent years, I guess this is recently, like, then Dream got, or no, that was before, Dream got accused and basically proven of, like, cheating. Like, I'm not entirely surprised. The guy made, like, a ton of speedrunning videos and had some ridiculous looking shit, and what do you know, he was actually cheating in the long run. See, who else was there? There's, like, quite a few controversies. Oh, yeah, the entire thing about fucking the Smash community ended up with, like, a ton of people getting outed for doing a lot of shit that was messed up. Like, Nairo was proven to be doing some really screwed up stuff, and Zero was also, like, that people found a lot of, like, different things about him, like, doing a lot of stuff with, like, preying on, like, some of his younger members of his audience, too. It's like, yeah, the Smash community had a lot of shit going down in it, and it was really nasty. The Smash community. It's bad how Smash has all these controversies all the time. Like, good lord, I wish the Smash community could avoid causing shit for just 1 year at least. Like, there's always something bad popping up. Dream get doxxed. I'm not sure, but I do know that Dream actually was like people actually found, like, proof that Dream had cheated his runs, and, like, the possibility of Dream being free of, like, any actual cheating was, like, 0.0001% or something. Like, it was so insignificantly small that, like, there wasn't a chance in hell that he didn't cheat, because the possibility of him not cheating was way too tiny to be, like, discarded. It was, like, obvious the guy had been cheating on his runs and manipulating his game files to get better RNG, so yeah, his career got shut down about as quick as it started. I don't remember anything from Dream, like, last year at all, but this year, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I'm not surprised, though. Fucking, what do you expect if you start cheating on speedruns? You really expect people to not notice the fact you're cheating? It's like, it's going to be fucking completely swallowed up and noticed really quickly if you leave any evidence around about this kind of crap. The internet is, honestly, like, I don't love seeing this kind of crap, but, like, there's both a good side and a bad side to this. Like, the good side being that a lot of, like, shady shit and a lot of horrible crap is being completely removed from the internet, and a lot of, like, people who are abusing their power are being taken off the internet. At the same time, it's like, good lord, even in, like, some of the less extreme circles, like, cancel culture as a whole has gotten fucking out of control and gotten really, really bad with how things are being handled right now. Like, it doesn't matter how insignificant of something you do. If you are big and you did anything wrong, you can leave it to the internet to try and fucking immediately cancel your fucking online presence. It's like, that's one part of the internet that I wish would go away. I don't think it's ever going to. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's okay to do fucked up shit, but it seems like the internet will take even the slightest thing you've done wrong and try to fucking murder you with cancel culture over it. And that's one part of the internet that I would be okay with seeing disappear. Cancel culture has turned into something that's like really, really shitty and kind of abused on the internet, and it needs to stop, honestly, but I don't see it happening, so oh well, whatever, nothing we can do about it. It's just going to keep on going, as nasty and as toxic as it is. It'd be nice to see it stop, though, and just fucking end, but whatever. I don't know if there's anything else that happened that was big on the internet that I was meaning to talk about. I have other things I want to talk about that I can bring up, though, in a little bit. Actually, I have some kind of weird shit that's been going on in my life over the past few days that I've been meaning to bring up, and now that I'm finally back on stream, I can, but I don't know if it's just my mind playing tricks on me or what, but I've had some weird shit going on. So I think this is the same day that I got my new phone. I was like coming back, I was like mostly messing around my phone the whole day, and I remember I think I nearly lost my Switch. It was a weird scenario how this all happened, and it may have just been like me not paying attention, but I swore I remember bringing my Switch in, like, I wasn't really paying much attention to it, because, like I said, I was mostly spending the whole day using my phone. It's a Pixel 5. I was trying to get used to how it works, and like, later in the day, I guess it was close to the time I went to bed, like, I noticed that I could not find my Switch anywhere, and I had, like, a huge amount of panic, and it was, to top things off, it was like in the middle of the night where I had no idea what the fuck was going on, and I wasn't sure where it was at, and it was leaving a lot of, like, worry in my mind. Fucking first thing that came to mind is because I had brought it with me somewhere, like, I think I went out to eat, and I think I brought it with me down there for a little bit to go get some food, and I was worried maybe I'd left it in the car, and somebody at my apartments maybe had came down to my car and saw it and fucking stole it out of my car because I didn't lock my doors at that point. And I had a fucking huge panic reaction, like, really quickly went to check in my car and it wasn't there, and that was making me, like, even more worried. Thankfully, when I came back after a bit of searching, even though I didn't know where it was at, it turned out I had just not been paying attention and I buried it under my bed sheets by accident because I wasn't paying attention, but good lord, it set off my fucking, like, panic sensor in my brain and fucking made me, like, feel a huge wave of relief when I finally figured out where the fuck I had placed it. It was definitely something I was worried about. It gave me a huge scare because I just paid for a new phone that was fairly expensive, and it's like, good God, I don't want to lose a Switch that has, like, God knows how much worth of value from, like, buying digital games on it. I would not want to lose something that I'd wasted so much money on and had so many games for. That was, like, a fucking terrifying moment for so many reasons. I'm glad it's over. It scared me quite a bit. I'm unfortunately really bad about putting stuff in spots and then not being careful. Like, I lose shit when I'm not too careful, and that was one of those moments for me almost, except a little bit worse since I thought I actually lost it. That was only one thing. There were two things that were a little weird that were bothering me over the past day or so, and this one's not as bad, but it's still creepy. This was, like, earlier this morning, actually. So, excuse me, I have something bothering me right now. I think something on my tongue, maybe. Ugh, nasty. Anyway, I remember that I woke up this morning and things were not a normal morning. Like, normally I wake up for a little bit and don't have an easiest time going back to sleep, and then I can go back to sleep after a little bit and things are fine. But I was awake for a while, and then while I had my eyes closed, something kind of weird started happening, and it might have just been my mind fucking with me, because I'm sure some of you guys have experience with how sometimes when you're tired, your mind likes to play tricks on you, and you see shit that isn't there, or you hear things, and paranoia starts fucking with you a little bit instead of, like, letting you sleep normally. And I had a really, really weird experience going on when I was, like, lying there with my eyes closed. I remember this happened, like, at 9 a.m. or something. I was just lying there, and I had my eyes closed pretty well, and I recall hearing the weirdest shit going on while I was minding my own business. Like, I recall hearing what sounded like fucking footsteps in my apartment, but not just any footsteps. It sounded like some little kid or something, like, running around and, like, fucking around in my apartment. It sounded like there was somebody, like, charging up, like, running around, and ran up to my bed. And then when I turned my head towards the sound, didn't open my eyes, but, like, then I'd hear the sound of this person, like, running back and running away like they were afraid of getting caught by me. And it's like, I heard this, like, at least once or twice. And then after I heard it the second time, like, it started to disappear, and I actually, it wasn't completely disappear, but, like, I decided to, like, get up and, like, investigate and make sure my mind wasn't fucking with me. And then right after I do this, the noise, like, completely disappears and it stops happening. It probably was just my mind messing with me, because I typically lock my door, even though I wasn't certain if I had, but, like, I was starting to wonder if maybe somebody had, like, snuck into my apartment and started messing around with my shit or something, and started doing some dumb bullshit in my apartment. Like, I was a little freaked out by the whole thing, and it felt really, really weirdly surreal. It was not a normal experience. It was fucking kind of creepy, honestly. Like, it probably was that it just was my brain messing with me, but the timing of it all was so fucking strange, how right when I started to investigate it all, it stopped happening. And while I had my eyes closed, this shit felt like it was happening, like, pretty frequently. Almost like somebody was trying to get a fucking laugh out of it. It really felt like somebody was messing with me, as it felt like something you'd see out of a little kid doing some dumb shit like this to get a fucking laugh out of somebody. And start doing some stupid crap like disturbing your sleep like that. It was the weirdest thing I remembered hearing in a long time. You gotta love when your mind starts doing stupid crap like that. I fucking hate when my mind starts playing tricks on me like that. It was fucking really fucking weird. Yeah, it was fucking creepy. I'm surprised I didn't freak out too much, but I was also wondering if maybe I was fucking just imagining things, but it felt like it was somewhat real. I don't think it was, but oh god, it's amazing how bad the human brain can be when it fucking decides it wants to and fucking start fucking with you over and over again. I fucking hate that. And it's one of the worst feelings is when your brain decides to play pranks on you, because it does, like, the most malicious shit in some cases. I'd feel like I've had a lot of instances where stupid shit's happened to me when I've been younger, where my brain will do all sorts of crazy shit to mess with me sometimes when I'm trying to sleep. Like, I'll feel like I see, like, something out of the corner of my eye that's not really there. I'll hear something that's not actually there, like, whether it be, like, sound of something going on where, like, in the house, or it be like a shadow or something I'd spot out of the corner of my eye, and then I'd go to look, and there was actually nothing there. It's like these little small things your brain does to you. I don't know why. It just happens. It's not something I enjoy putting up with, though, and it makes sleeping a real struggle sometimes when this happens. I've been dealing with that less and less as I got older, but it's weird how it happened to me, like, last night, or not even last night, this morning, like that, out of like, all of a sudden that it started happening again, even though it hasn't happened to me in quite some time. Like, I don't have any idea why the fuck it just suddenly started happening to me. I wish I did, because it's fucking bizarre that it happened today all of a sudden. Ugh, fuck. Give me a second or two. Ugh, I'm like a little bit tired actually, probably because I don't think I slept super great last night. I think I was up pretty late. I was up at like 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or something doing whatever, wasting time on pointless shit and not really doing anything too important. Also, I guess this is like talking about like what I was talking about earlier of my Switch. I think I've had like at least one of them in point in my apartments where I've had some really strange shit go on. Not like in the apartment itself, but I remember when I was first moving in. I think I've had somebody try to fucking rob me before, which made me like immediately self-conscious when I couldn't find my Switch, because I remember when I was like just coming to the apartment the first time, and I had been like I got my stuff filled out and approved to get at the apartment and everything. But I remember when I was like going to move stuff and like put stuff in my apartment or whatever, and like I was new there, but I remember I went up to put stuff away. I came back after I'd gotten done, and then I had found my car had been fucked with when I came back. Like somebody had opened the door and started moving shit around and started searching through my car when I was up in my apartment. Like I could tell that somebody had been in there and been looking through my shit. So I've had like one experience of somebody actually trying to rob me in the past before, and that immediately made me like really careful and like really uncertain about the stuff going on around here, and makes you a little self-conscious about your possessions, honestly. Had somebody fucking mess with my stuff, and good lord, it felt fucking awful knowing somebody tried to mess with my belongings. I hated that. Ugh. I fucking hate how human nature leads people to do crap like this. I don't care how poor you are, it's pretty shitty to try and rob somebody. Ugh. I got some stuff I want to talk about. Give me a second or two. I need a moment before I continue. Right now I'm like a little out of breath and I wanted to look at something. I had something I was meaning to talk about and I fucking forgot what it was. Give me 2 seconds though. I need to search something on my thing actually. Well, whatever. I'm lucky. I guess I'm lucky I haven't had anything too bad happen to me. That's something I am a little scared of, because it feels like a natural thing that could happen, but like, you hear about robberies all the time, and sometimes you hear about fucking people getting murdered over nothing. Like, you'd think there's not much of a chance happening to you, and then you'd hear about shit like crazy people fucking going into houses late at night and doing shit they find the doors unlocked. It's never something I would want to happen. It sounds terrifying. Ugh, fuck, it's something that scares me, the idea of like just minding my own business and then somebody does something terrible and fucking find that I've been fucking robbed all of a sudden. I hate that idea. So many laws in America and some of them are pointless. I don't understand them. There's a lot of things that are good here. Then you have so many, like, fucking really pointless laws that don't actually help anybody. I don't understand our legal system at all. Fucking, there's laws against public nudity and shit that don't have, like, for not even, like, anything hurting anybody. And yet, when it comes to stuff like guns, like, oh yeah, guns are banned. And fucking, most of the time, it's like, it's more dangerous to let somebody run around with a gun than you hear about shootings going on all the time, and it's like, what do you expect? And you have, like, really, what's the right word? Like, how do I describe this? You know what I'm trying to say, but, like, yeah, we have kind of, not the strictest gun laws, and then you hear about these crimes going on, it's like, what do you expect? You put something like this under... or being under, like, our laws and make it illegal, or not illegal, like, make it legal to have a gun on you for self-protection, which is fine in some scenarios, like, if you're having it at home, that's fine, or whatever, but fucking, and nudity is illegal, and yet guns that actually fucking kill people are fucking, not. It's like, I don't understand our laws whatsoever, frankly. We have a lot of dumb laws, too. There's something I was looking at about this whole thing that I was reading from. I'm gonna read some more on it a little bit later. I don't know if these are all real, just like a thing I found online, but it wouldn't be surprising me too much. There's a lot of dumb laws in America, frankly. They don't make any sense, honestly. I don't really get why public nudity is a fucking illegal thing, to be honest. It doesn't really hurt anybody. Also, when you look at, like, media, I swear to God, it's always, like, the exact opposite of fucking, and, like, or not, I say video games, I have the wrong wording, but, like, it's always the exact opposite of how TV shows is, like, a show, like, oh, yeah, they make jokes about nudity in some cartoons, and, like, it's always the male characters, but in reality, it's always, like, the exact opposite what's considered more acceptable. You'll never see, like, a woman get arrested for it, whereas you would with a man. I don't know. Don't know why I'm going on this rant right now. I don't really understand our legal system. It's definitely fucking weird, in my opinion. Also, there's a lot of, like, hunting laws that I don't completely understand either. Whatever, not really a big deal. Like, I don't see why there's, like, so many restrictions on hunting, but I could give less of a shit because I never hunt. Anyway, let's see. I'll read a little bit out of this thing before we change the subject to talk about some other stuff. These are some of these that I found. These might not be real. South Dakota, no horses are allowed to Fountain Inn. They're wearing pants. What? Horses? Wearing pants? What? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't sound like a real one. I don't know. North Dakota is illegal to fall asleep with their shoes on. Don't understand that. Virginia, and children are not to go trick-or-treating on Halloween, which makes no sense as well. Arizona, hunting camels prohibited. Who the fuck hunts camels? Like, if this is an actual law, then I have to question what the actual purpose of it is. Like, who the fuck hunts camels in the first place to actually make a need for this law? Really illegal to Texas, illegal that run time while standing. That sounds like something that's not true, because I have never heard of that, and I am from Texas, but I have no idea. Colorado is illegal to beer at a time while stand. Or that's the one that I just read. It's illegal to ride a horse onto the influence. Okay, I'm done reading that for the moment. I'll read more of this later. It's just like some weird ones that I've found. I don't know if they're actually true or not. Ugh. Let's have a bit of a topic change, actually, over to something else. I want to talk about anime for a little bit, actually, because I've been watching quite a bit. I've been actually taking a bit of a break on watching some of the shows that I've been keeping up with. Like, right now, I personally haven't been watching, like, too much of One Piece. I watched, like, some Dressrosa. I've been keeping up with the dub, and I guess right now I'm just in the mood to watch other stuff, and I know they're going to be a while before they put up another set of, like, new episodes for Season 11, so yeah, I've not been watching it and keeping up with One Piece lately. I've been slacking on it a little bit. I've watched mostly Attack on Titan, and I've been catching up. I got caught up to Season 4 for the most part. I have, like, 2 episodes I haven't watched, and I've been waiting for the newest one to release before I finally finished catching up and watching everything, so I've yet to watch it all. I've been waiting for the next episode to drop. I want to watch it all at the same time and see all the episodes that I've got left at the same time. It's like 3 or 4 at most, so might as well just see what all I've been missing out on and then watch them all. I've also been watching some of that Jujutsu Kaisen show. I found that show to be pretty good, pretty entertaining, so I've been keeping up with it and interested in it, and I've been watching it, like, ever so often, not really too much. I've been waiting for the shows to, like, resume their weekly scheduling before I really went into watching them too much and paying too much attention, so haven't really been watching it a whole ton. I like it, though. I've been enjoying it. Jujutsu Kaisen's been pretty good, actually. I found it to be, like, a really, really enjoyable experience, and very, very interesting characters, goofy, and just the right amount of seriousness and goofiness mixed up in it, that it's something I find that I'm really enjoying. Like, it reminds me of Bleach and Naruto to an extent in a few areas, and it's got, like, just the right amount of like knowing when to, or yeah, I've said already, excuse me. It knows when to take itself seriously. It knows not when not to, and it does a good job, like making sure everything works out really well in that regard. So yeah, I like Jujutsu Kaisen. It's good. As far as Attack on Titan is gone, I've been enjoying it because they keep it interesting. I feel like every season I'm set up with some twist that I wasn't expecting, and it managed to make things more and more interesting no matter how they pull it off. They will do something that keeps you on your toes every season, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing in my opinion. I like how they've been handling that. Also, I've been picking up a new show. I think I'm gonna take a short AFK break for 5-10 minutes at most, and I want to give myself a little bit of water and maybe eventually get like a little bit of snack food for just a bit and catch my breath. I still can talk, but right now I feel like I want to give myself a chance to get a bit of a small breather, so I'm going to take a short resting break in a little bit, and I'm going to use that to get ready. Also, I'd like to make it so that I could like sit down and maybe, let's see, how do I say this? Like, I want to do like quite a bit of stuff. Like, I want to do some stuff like I did on prior streams and maybe put on some custom music if you guys are interested in listening to it. Just listen to different tracks for different things for a little bit. Like, listen to some songs, mostly like video game music, and we can compare stuff maybe. I think that'd be a fun way to look into doing something for a little bit for the stream and try to enjoy something that's worth talking about. Talk about game soundtracks and listen to the music as I'm playing. Plus, it'd give the stream a little more variety to have some different music going, and I feel like that'd bring in something that'd be fairly worth talking about for a little bit. So, figure why not? Maybe that'll be something that'll be good. So, yeah, I think that'll work for being something that's good to mention. Not mention, like, something we can do, just to listen to some music. If you guys have, like, requests, I'll do anything that's not, like, related to copyright problems. I don't want to have issues crop up on the stream, so I'm going to try and be careful about that. Let's see. Give me a second or two. Oh, yeah, I've been watching another show, actually, that I wanted to bring up and talk about on stream for a little bit, because I don't mind, like, discussing, like, say, I was going to talk about, like, another show I just checked out recently that I found that I really, really enjoyed. I needed a show to, like, sit down and pass the time while I'd been waiting on new episodes of shows that I'm interested in, so I picked up another anime that I thought was pretty good, and I figured it'd be fun to talk about for a little bit, so I'll be more than happy to talk. Okay, it looks like it's chat still good. I wasn't certain. Cool. Song dangerous to play. You can list it, and if it's like, I'll see if it's like a band song, I might not be able to play it. If it's something from a game, it might be fine. I don't know all the songs that'll cause copyright issues. I know copyright's less problematic than it is on Twitch, but it's still a bit of an issue. Also, there's the matter of, well, when it comes to YouTube, I've noticed, like, they are very quick on the trigger to drop stuff on streams and, like, mute certain parts of the streams or whatever. And the biggest concern I've got is, even though I don't care too much, it's the matter of, like, just in the off chance we end up having a shiny Regice pop up today, which I don't expect is going to happen, I'd like to not have to worry about maybe editing the stream or anything and trying to get a good clip of it if I end up having the audio muted. So I hope I don't have to bother with that. It'd be a drag to have to go out and sit there and fix it just because YouTube decided they were going to mute a part of the audio, so I have to be, like, really careful about that. It's annoying, too. Thankfully, I haven't ran into too many issues with that, but you never know, honestly. I hate fucking dealing with this kind of crap, honestly. It's sad how the internet's gotten to be a bit of a shithole when it comes to music. Companies have gotten into maximum greeds, and this DMCA shit is like, honestly hurt streaming as a whole lot. Fucking, I remember seeing like shit where people whistling or like singing a song or whatever is enough to trigger Twitch's DMCA policy. Also, I saw somebody, I remember who it was, they posted like a clip of them from Twitter where they'd been like in like a mall or something and there was music playing. And of course the fucking DMCA system flagged that too. Like literally nothing is safe, even just walking through on a fucking mall or whatever and you hear music playing. Yeah, if you hear it then, oh, you're screwed unless you have a way to turn off your audio from the video camera or phone or whatever directly. It's like, this DMCA policy is ridiculous and good lord, it needs to be fixed. It's bad how terrible the music industry has gotten. I don't think I want to stream on Twitch at any point, thanks to that. I was considering it, but any consideration and for it now is gone because of that. Anyway, I had another show I was going to talk about before I forgot. I'd been watching something and I mentioned it earlier. It's a really, really dumb show, pretty interesting little slice of life thing, like an anime. Figured most of you guys like anime and don't mind talking about it, so here's one I've been watching. I think it's an older show called Assassination Classroom. I saw it a few times on Funimation when I was going on Funimation to watch like some shows. Like I watched D. Gray Man on there back in the past, and I enjoyed sitting through that show. Also, I watched One Piece, and I found that I had a good time watching One Piece, so hold on a second. I heard something on my phone, and it sounded like it might have been a text message. I haven't had any text messages in a while. I was wondering if something came up. No? Okay. Me. Thought there was something. Guess not. But yeah, I guess I watched it some. I've been watching it more in the last year or so. I saw the show when I was watching One Piece, I think, randomly, and I was like wondering about it. I started to check it out. It's pretty good. It's a stupid show. It's really, really funny in its own right. It's a weird concept. Like, basically, it's a classroom full of kids who are trying to assassinate their teacher, which sounds bizarre, but it makes a little more sense when you get into the like specifics of it. It's not a normal plot line by any measure. Like, the teacher is like this weird alien-like creature, and it's like an octopus or whatever. Like, he's got these superhuman abilities, and they're all trying to like assassinate him because if they don't take him out in like a year, like the Earth is gonna blow up or whatever. It's a really, really strange plot line, and it managed to be fairly entertaining despite being really goddamn stupid, and surprisingly, like, wholesome despite how the plot line is about assassination. Like, I've actually found that it's fairly enjoyable. I've been watching it at a very, very fast pace because I've been looking for something to keep me occupied, not really sure what to watch, and I've got to say, it's evolved to be fairly fun to see, just like seeing the interactions of the characters, and every episode's focused on something different. It's fairly good. I don't find like I'd like to watch anime. I talked about it to you guys, and it sounds like I watch a whole lot, but I think because I've been cooped up without anything I can do like the past year or so, I've been naturally watching it a little more than usual, just not having anything better to do, and I haven't been able to get any new games, so I've been watching a lot of shows. At least I found a lot of good stuff. I'm curious, like, we talk about shows every now and then, but, like, what is everybody watching right now to, like, keep away the boredom during the pandemic? I watch a little bit, but I still am taking quite a few recommendations for new shows, because I find it's usually a good idea to look for stuff to keep when I have to deal with depression, it's a good idea to have something to take my mind away from it. It's good to not have to think about it too much, and thankfully this distracts me from it. I'm not sure if there's anything else that I can name that I was watching that's, like, on my mind. I mean, I know there's a Danganronpa anime, and I watched, like, part of the original one, and I was, like, considering watching one of the sequel series, but they'd skipped like some of the plot line. I thought of getting the games, but now that I've seen like so much of the storyline of it, then it's like I don't know if I would want to pick up the games now that I know too much of it. Speaking of video games and stuff, like I this is probably a not so uncommon opinion, but one thing that does suck a little bit about visual novels is like once you see like a storyline for a game, whether you play it or you watch somebody else play it, I've been in like or not I've been seeing like it seems like yeah it's pretty useless to replay the game because you already know the story and you already know all the twists in the game, so don't really have anything worth like playing the game for again. It's not as exciting when you know how the story plays out the second time. Stopped me from replaying like Ace Attorney as much, and also has stopped me from playing Danganronpa since I checked into the anime when I probably shouldn't have. Ugh, man. I'd like to play some of those games. I don't know, maybe I'll play Ace Attorney at some point since I have interest and check it out on stream. Even though I've played it all. Hmm. Okay, actually, I've been wanting to do some fun, different streams, like, after I get done with some more shiny hunting. I have, like, a lot of stuff I want to mix it up with, like, if I get the time and I find a good point, I'd actually like to sit down and do, like, a Minecraft thing on another stream. I'd like to do, like, oh, I need to check this Pokédex. I guess I'm doing, because I know I'm not sure if I found the shiny, and I'm pretty sure I haven't, but yeah, being safe. But yeah, I have a little adventure map that I've been planning. I have a lot of streams I'd like to mess around with this year. Hopefully we can get around to it. I guess we'll see what happens, though. Okay, after this encounter, I'm gonna take a really quick BRB for 5, maybe 10 minutes at most. I want to give my, like, mouth, running my mouth, just like my entire body a bit of a resting point for a second since I'm feeling a little bit of fatigue, and get some water, get a little bit of a snack, and I'm sure that'll make me feel like I'll be a little more energized to keep talking. I can continue, but it gets a little harder when you start pressurizing yourself to keep going and you feel like you're not really energized too much. I think a lot of people don't understand that about streaming unless they've done it themselves. I'm gonna be back in just a second. Be right back. Or not just a second, I'll be back in like 5, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I figured I wouldn't take as long as I needed to. I just needed to get a little bit of time to get a little bit of snack in me. Eating a little bit of a bite and drinking a little bit of water can do a lot of good for your body, and I feel significantly better. I'm ready to do some music requests and do some songs if anybody wants to. I'll mute the game in a second and we can do that. I don't mind. Give me a moment or two. If anybody has requests, then feel free to. Let me see. I missed one message here. Jumper. I've never actually checked on any of that. That's one thing I don't really love about indie games when it comes to soundtracks, is that some of them are really up in the air about how quick it is to get flagged. You have to be really careful when it comes to soundtracks. Much as I love video game music, yeah, it's always scary to play around with. I'll play it, hopefully there won't be any issues, but never can tell about that stuff sometimes. Okay, I'll mute the music on here just for the sake of why the fuck not? Might as well listen to some other stuff. It'd be nice to have a bit of different variety rather than hearing the same Regice background music 2 billion times in a row, so I'd like to actually change that up. Just give me a second or two. It takes a bit of coordination to get through this and try to select something while also sitting here or like doing the shiny hunt. Be very, very careful. Okay, let me see if I can find this by looking. Let's see. Okay, I think I found it. Let me see. I think this is it. That's one thing I think like is a good topic for discussion is like video game soundtracks. Oh, did I forget to mute my Chrome? Yeah, I guess I did. Okay, hopefully this is good. Okay, I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty good. Okay, hopefully that's plenty good. Oh man, speaking of like game soundtrack stuff that I find really, really good, I remember like I've been watching a little bit of like somebody replaying through Earthbound a little bit. I've seen live streams like Earthbound and Mother. That series has some good music, and I mean really good music. I don't know if you guys are interested. It might not be worth it or not, but I mean, I'm thinking after I get done with this song, I might put on some of the Earthbound music and we just sit down and listen to it for a bit. Maybe you'd go into like the whole series and listen to some of the music. I genuinely really like the soundtrack from Earthbound and Mother. Like I find all three of them have good music. They're also phenomenal games that are really, really fantastic in my opinion. Although I'll be honest on my opinion of Mother 1, and good God, that game is rough around the edges. Replay, or not really replaying, but replay. Dang, I said the wrong thing again, whatever. You know what I meant. Playing Mother 1 the first time, that game did not play smoothly. That game was the kind of game that takes you and then beats the shit out of you, and you have nothing to, like, no idea what to expect out of it, and fucking really gives you a hard time. It embodies the, like, old RPG tropes way too hard. Especially with the random encounters being fucking incredibly dangerous. One of these days, I don't know when, eventually I want to do a stream of the Mother series and do most of the games in it. When, that's really going to be just up in the air, I guess, but I'll do it and there's an opportunity. If they put Mother 1 on, like, NES Online, I'll take care of that first, and then we'll move along forward until we get all of them. I have a feeling we're not going to see it anytime soon. I'm actually kind of curious why they haven't done it already. Not that it matters, but it would be kind of nice to have those games up. I mean, we got both of them on Wii U. It really sucks when you sit down and talk about the Mother series, and then you have to think, like, out of all the stuff that's happened, there's such a low probability that we're ever going to see Mother 3 get released in the West. There seems to be some huge urge from Nintendo to avoid releasing it in, like, anywhere besides Japan. I'm assuming it's because the game has some very odd subjects in it that may not particularly translate over well when it comes to, like, how the cultural references are. I feel like they might go over really bad. Also, there's a few songs that have a little bit of a funny sound to them and could probably trigger some sort of copyright war over it. In fact, I hate doing this. Hopefully, it's not too much of a risk. I'm gonna play one of these that I was talking about, actually. And you can probably tell exactly why I'm saying this when I play it. Let's see, give me a second or two. If you can't recognize this, I'd be surprised. It's very, very similar to a certain song. Let me pump it up a little bit so it's louder. I love the fucking music in this game for this kind of stuff. Oh gosh. You can't tell me listen to this. This doesn't sound like fucking Batman music. They knew what they were doing when they put this in the game. And to top it off, it's for an enemy called Mr. Batty. The song's entitled like Mr. Batty Twist. They had every idea what the fuck they were doing before they dropped this in the game. It's probably not a coincidence that it sounds like Batman music. In fact, that really goddamn funny. Hope this doesn't get the stream claimed by some company, though, trying to claim that we're playing the Batman theme, because that's not really what this is, even if it's technically. Good shit. I could listen to Mother 3 soundtrack like all day long. Okay, let's see. What's another good one that'll be good? Oh, here's one. Want to hear some weird-ass music, I'll give you guys something that'll be good. Saturn Valley. I haven't heard that song in a long time. Earthbound is such a mystical and bizarre game. Fucking so many weird subjects in that game that happen, really in the whole series, but like, I could name like at least 3 or 4 things off the top of my head that are fucking bizarre in the game, like the whole zombies around the circus for one, and there's, let's see, what else is there? There's the thing I'm playing right now, Saturn Valley, all the weirdos there. Mr. Saturn himself is a fucking enigma of a character. Fucking bunch of kind of dumb-seeming characters. And they always say the word boing for some reason. Also, this music kind of, like, perfectly encompasses how bizarre of a fucking character Mr. Saturn is. Nothing about Saturn Valley seems normal at all. Then, let's see, yeah, there's... I mean, you erase a giant, like, pencil statues, the fucking thing, it's literally called a pencil eraser. The game's full of weird shit. I could go on about it. Let's see, I'm trying to think there's one other big reference I forgot. Oh, yeah, that fucking cult that's, like, all blue. They look like a fucking version of the KKK, except they have blue instead of white on them. Earthbound was a fucking weird game. Not a bad game, but weird as shit. I wonder if maybe this is the reason why Nintendo distances themselves from Earthbound, is they're afraid of the reputation the games have gotten over time. They're still good games, but they have a lot of strange references in them that are not great. You see all sorts of strange shit when you look at it. Also, the themes are like way more adult than any Nintendo game I've ever played. I kind of miss that about Nintendo, though, and they were less afraid to take risks. Nintendo nowadays, you don't see that anymore, I feel like. I mean, they published Bayonetta 2, I guess, but... I remember when Nintendo was actually fine with putting up, like, some degree of risks in their game. Mother series, an easy example of that. Bayonetta 3 and Bayonetta 2 are not quite the same as another person, like, contracted to it. Don't even get me started on the Metroid series. I mean, if you're really talking about Nintendo taking chances, Samus takes off more clothing the faster you do in Metroid, like the faster you beat the game, so... Yeah, I would say that's delving into the subject of adult theming a little more. Maybe it's not extreme, but it's certainly not something they completely shied away from. Actually, what is the most adult Nintendo video game series? There's a lot of them. I think in F-Zero, if you fall off a track, don't you actually, like, die? Like, the announcer like says retired and whatnot if you fall to your death. A little bit morbid to think about, that you actually kind of die in those games rather than just like being respawned or whatever. Okay, let's see. What else is another good one? I'm thinking on what I should play. You know, let's just play whatever. We'll play some different music from the series. Let's do On It, maybe. I haven't listened to the On It theme in some time. So I'm curious, let's just like get a discussion for something that's good to talk about for a little bit. What's everyone's favorite game soundtracks? Any good ones you guys can name? I don't mind playing soundtracks from whatever. Mario and Luigi is really good in my opinion. F-Zero is another series that has fantastic music. The F-Zero devs really knew what the fuck they were doing with their game. Like, they made some fucking great tunes that are very, very catchy, so yeah, props to the F-Zero team. They did a fantastic job with making the games memorable, whether it be music or the gameplay. Oh, I miss it. So many things in here. Looking at my, like, recommended things here. Like, I see a Undertale. I guess that's natural. Some Zelda music, Mario Paint. There's a lot to check out here. I'm sure I'm not alone on this, actually, when it comes to games. I find that with a lot of games, honestly, like, yeah, but you like look at the soundtrack for games. The soundtrack can easily make or break a game. Like, if they do a good job with the soundtrack, then there are, like, you know, the game will probably be pretty good. Maybe it'll be bad. Music's not going to fix fundamental flaws, but frankly, good music can make a game even better and even, like, cover up some of the weak points of the games. The music's good enough. I feel like that's something I really enjoy. I think that's one thing I like about Undertale. It's good. In fact, I think the games are strong on their own, but the music absolutely adds to, like, the atmosphere of the game, and I think that that's one thing that I like about it. All the music is great. If it wasn't, then I wouldn't think that Hopes and Dreams and also Megalovania would be the two big, like, songs that were known from that game. Yeah, I like to round my numbers up usually by 5 or 10 when I'm doing this, so I'll probably go heal it after I get to the next interval. When I reach, like, 2640, I'll go to the Pokemon Center, and right in Pokemon Center, just go down to the little cabin or whatever and heal it up. And I think at one point I was actually contemplating going and fucking doing the Swords of Justice on stream. Fuck that so very hard. I am not touching another fucking 3 more Pokemon with a 10-foot pole when it comes to extending how many more shiny hunts I'm doing. Like, this Regice hunting is already taxing enough on me, so I think I'll just say no to the Swords of Justice right now, instead of bothering. It's not like I'm not going to be busy enough. By the time I get Regirock, we're going into Latios and Latios for the next shiny hunt, so I can take a little bit of a breather hunt between me getting Regirock and Regice and doing more later. Like, I don't want to be fucking killing off my urge to shiny hunt completely, so might as well do an easy hunt. Oh man, this music. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again and 100 times more. Yoshi's Island is possibly one of the best games. Why did I do that? Whatever, I'm gonna go heal, and I'll just deal with it when I get back in here and set up the pattern again. Yoshi's Island is possibly one of the best games ever made, if not the best game ever made. Such a fantastic game. All the music fits well. All the levels are pretty good overall. There's some that are a little crappy, to be honest, but like, the art style looks good. I couldn't think of a thing to take away from the game. Whoops, shit, why did I do that? I've done that a few times where I'm not even near the spawn and I accidentally fucking bump up the number while I'm not paying attention. But yeah, I couldn't think of a way to fucking subtract points from the game if I try it. It all works too well. The game is such a great game. All flows well. If I can make any change to Yoshi's Island at all, probably, it would just be to fucking mute Baby Mario's screaming. I gotta say, that's one thing that fucking irritates me to no end, is hearing wah, wah, every time you fucking lose them and you have to fucking sit there and put up with them crying. That is actually annoying as fuck, and this is the one thing I could say takes away points from an otherwise pretty perfect game, actually. Also, I know you mentioned Mario Land. Yeah, Mario Land is pretty good. I've only played it, like, once or twice all the way through, but I did enjoy Mario Land quite a bit. I have not played Mario Land 2 properly, so I have not had a chance to explore that. Also, we're going to go back to some other music in a second. I'm going to play one more other song first. There we go. That'll do. God damn, Donkey Kong Country has such a fucking fantastic soundtrack. Fucking love listening to these games' soundtrack, and also replaying them is usually a complete pleasure. Honestly, I wouldn't mind doing a replay on stream sometime soon if I hadn't already went through all of DKC 1. Probably rather do it in my spare time now. I wonder if we're going to get another DKC game at some point. I feel like it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but like, I know Retro was making Returns and Tropical Freeze. I wonder if they just completely gave the series over to somebody else or what. Like, I was expecting they would do another game and they'd make a modern Donkey Kong trilogy and they'd wrap it up there, and yet we haven't seen anything in the series yet. Honestly, I can't say I hate any of the Donkey Kong Country games. They're all fantastic titles overall. Even if Donkey Kong Country 3 is a little bit on the side compared to some of the others, in my opinion. Not a bad game, I don't love everything about it. Oh gosh. Give me a second or two, actually. Change the subject for a moment. I guess there's some things I do want to talk about for a little bit, like smaller subjects, before we go into discussing anything else game-related. I guess this is kind of game-related. So, let's see. First thing I can think of is related to Monster Hunter, I think. Anybody watch the new trailer for... Not trailer, like the new Monster Hunter presentation? I haven't checked it out, but I've heard it's fairly good. I know there's supposed to be a demo going up really soon if it's not already out. I'm looking forward to playing Rise and checking out the demo. In fact, regardless of whether or not they get the shiny, like, really soon, I actually want to do, like, a session where I play Rise's demo on stream, and we could maybe see if we can get a few people on to sit down and play Rise together and try to get, like, through the demo. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Maybe do that for 30 minutes to an hour and see how that goes. I've never really dabbled much in Monster Hunter, and I'd like to because of that. I think that's a thing that'd be worth it. Also, I heard some news that disappointed me while we're on the topic of Capcom recently, and apparently they're readjusting their, like, copyright. Their stance on copyright. I haven't checked, like, all of what it's about, but it sounds like they're strictening, like, their control over their franchise, and they might start taking down, like, fan projects. And honestly, that's something I was happy about, was that Capcom was one of those developers who was leaving fan projects alone and not killing them, and now the fact that they sound like they might start ending fan projects, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of stings a little bit. I was really liking that about Capcom, and there's some really good Mega Man fan games out there, as well as, like, some other ones, and I wonder if they're going to start targeting, like, long-existing things that are already up, like Mega Man Maker, any of the various Mega Man fan games that are out there. Mega Man's a really good series, too. Like, it's kind of bad that they're willing to kill Mega Man fan games but they barely touch the series itself. I guess there's the fact they did make Mega Man 11 not that long ago, but I hope they're not going to make us wait a long time before something new gets released. I want to see some new Mega Man in this decade, hopefully. I don't think we have to worry about that too much, but it'd be nice to get more new stuff. I guess we can only hope. We'll see what happens with that. Honestly, copyright laws kind of suck. It's not terrible, but it can suck seeing like somebody put a lot of love into a project and see it die like that. But I guess it's necessary. I wish it wasn't. There's a lot of cool fan projects out there. Every time I see something really cool get ripped off the internet, it fucking stings. I wonder why companies started to, like, go and fucking, and, like, start doing this all of a sudden, and I don't even know where, I'm meant to look about where this thing's at. I don't know where Smoke Ball's at in my inventory, actually. Let me see if I've got one. Probably not. Let's say, I don't know, seems like 10 years ago or something, it was never a big deal. I guess the internet's gotten bigger. Copyright laws gotten worse. Probably in here, maybe. I'm not sure which tab it's other. Oh, it's on other items. Okay, that's what I figured. Smoke Ball. Do I have one? I'm not sure. Still don't like how you can't bring your stuff between, like, Pokemon Home and it prevents you from doing this. Let's see. Play from any wild. Not fail. Oh, that's useful. I wonder if it'll. I didn't even realize this is a thing, so that's useful. As long as it's not a one-time use item, this will be fine. I guess I could make sure that I could reset the game, but I mean, it's been easier for me to do runaway encounters. I find that I've been keeping up with runaway encounters quicker than I have through doing the many other method. Let's see. This might actually speed things up a little bit, though. Let's see how this goes. Does it still have the item is what I'm wondering, though. Oh, yeah, looks like it stays. Okay, that's good. I appreciate that tip, though. That makes things a lot easier if I know that. And all of a sudden, part of this gets a lot easier. If I'd known this was a big deal, then I would have used it sooner. I've known about Smoke Ball, but I didn't realize that was the purpose of it, so that's useful. Very useful, actually. Let me get some more music going in just a second. Let's see what we can find. I'll play one of my favorites from Mother 3 for you guys. Just let me get the thing found on YouTube really quick. Oh, gosh, my fingers. Okay. How long we got on some of these versions? Let's try the Smash thing, see how this one is. Yeah, this will work. This is about the same. It's not quite the same, but yeah, the Theme of Love, this one's one of my favorites. God, this soundtrack is so nice. I could listen to Mother 3 soundtrack literally all day long. It feels really, really relaxing. I don't know if I'll ever get into... I've said it before, I don't know if I'd want to, but if I ever did tier lists thing, that'd be a fun discussion, actually. Sit down and decide on best soundtracks in video games. See what all can be compared and what the best soundtracks for several games would be. I think that'd be a very, very fun topic. Let's see. Actually, I was talking about stuff and I forgot. I was going to mention, I almost forgot. I was thinking of, like, video game news and I forgot this is a thing. Apparently, like, the Pokemon Direct from 2020 got delisted some time ago, which may be a good sign, actually. Might be a possibility that we're going to get a new Pokemon Direct this month, and I would expect so, since I think the Capcom thing is something that Capcom did separately for trying to show off Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, I kind of wish we had a general Direct, but I'm excited to see what's going on. I don't play Pokemon as much as the next person. I still like the series, but I don't care about it as much as some people do. But if there's some good announcements, that'll be hype. Even if I don't play mainline stuff, I'll play the spin-offs probably. And if they announce a Let's Go for Johto, then sign me the fuck up. I'll be very, very quick to buy that. I'd be very happy to. Seems like the rumors this year have been going full force, like a bunch of shit that's going on. I saw like a fake one earlier that was nothing really big. It was like a thing somebody made where they were claiming it was Switch Pro, and it had like too many like dream sounding games to be real, like Splatoon 3, Mario Odyssey 2, all sorts of things like this. They supposedly made like a name for the Breath of the Wild sequel, and this little list they leaked, it was like a printed document. You know, that's one thing I don't discuss any, and I'd like to, and I'm not really good at keeping up with the subject, but like, I find fake leaks are usually really fucking funny to discuss. See what kind of dumb stuff you can find on the internet, and see what kind of leaks people make up and then post online, and some of them are really, really well done. I may remember on, like, what was it? Was it right before Smash's release or whatever? The Grinch leak got a lot of popularity. That was an incredible time, actually. The Grinch leak was so fucking well done. It fooled so many people, and it looked so real. Like, God, those were some good fake leaks. Those were some that I enjoyed looking at, even if it was heartbreaking to realize it wasn't actually real. You know, old pics of Toad and Melee. I'm not actually sure. I remember there were a lot of, like, stupid, jokey, like, fakes going around back in Melee. Like, Toad was one of them. There was also the rumor about, oh yeah, you can unlock Sonic and Melee, which was BS and was proven to be untrue pretty quickly. So, yeah, Smash has some pretty neat ones. I'm not really sure if I can remember too many of them, though, just like thinking on it. Let's see, what else is another big one? Mewtwo felt like a fucking fake rumor, though, considering the fact Mewtwo has the fucking most ridiculous unlock sequence of anything I've seen when it comes to fucking unlocking him in Melee. Like, Mewtwo has, like, really, you gotta play like a certain amount of hours or fucking jump off a level like 700 times. It's like, yeah, that's some fucking crazy shit you gotta do just to get one character, and who can prevent you from getting the whole roster. It's not something I loved a whole lot. I remember something from like a Nintendo Power or something where there was like a fake screenshot of like Wind Waker. It was nothing crazy. It was like something with the Helmrock King, and also there was like, what was it? I think it was like Helmrock King or Link or something, but I don't remember what the details was. It looked really, really funny. 24 hours? Something like that. I don't remember the exact specifics. They wanted you to play a lot of the game, I guess, and I guess the easiest way to get your hands on Mewtwo would be to set the timer as high as possible if you can, and potentially see if you can find a way to keep it running while you're not even playing it, which that wouldn't be something I'd be super interested in. I don't know. Mewtwo had a ridiculous unlock, though. Not a fun one. It wasn't really a leak, per se, but I remember one thing that I saw circulating on the internet, like when it comes to rumors, and this was regarding Luigi's Mansion. I remember for the longest time, there were people who would, like, come out on sites and be like, oh, if you played all the new mansion, all the old mansion, and beat both game modes, you'd unlock a new game mode called Mario's Mansion, and spoiler alert, it was total bullshit. There was no Mario's Mansion and no way to play as Mario, which, to be honest, would have kind of undermined the point of it being Luigi's Mansion, now that it would be like Luigi's first game. Really, really interesting thing that cropped up. It's kind of in the same vein as L is Real, I guess, though. Actually, around the topic of Luigi's Mansion, I remember a creepy Easter egg I saw just recently. I don't remember how long it's been around. There's like a thing in Luigi's Mansion where if you end up in the wrong, like in the right spot at the wrong time, or wherever you have the right like circumstances, you can see like a glitch with Luigi's shadow where it looks like Luigi hangs himself. It's kind of disturbing looking. It's not terribly hard to see. It's not normal looking. It is a little bit creepy, I'll be honest. I've only seen it a few times online. I've never really noticed it myself, but I may have never really paid enough attention. Also, some of the cut content on it is for, like, the cut content for Luigi's Mansion is really, really dark. Like, I think one of the endings is, like, Luigi's Mansion ends, like, Luigi fucking gets goddamn, like, saddened and kills himself or something over not finding Mario, or turns into a zombie. Like, the endings are a little fucked from what I remember. Yeah, Mario gets an entire game about exploring galaxies. Meanwhile, Luigi has to experience his worst nightmare. Okay, that's my cell phone, but I'm mute this really quick. Let me get my thing on pause. I'm going to have to answer it to my mom, see what's going on here. Hello? No, I didn't. Okay, that's done. That ringing sound is actually a lot louder and a lot more annoying than my old phone. Whatever, not really a big deal. Put the music back on. Didn't expect I would get a phone call while I was on stream, but apparently something kind of weird happened at my parents' house. Like, some car drove by their place and it looked very similar to mine. They said it was driving by really slowly, so I don't know. I might need to go check on my car a little bit later. I don't know for sure, but I don't think anything would have happened, but I don't know if I locked the door or not. Now I'm getting a little bit weirded out. Great. As if my other things I mentioned earlier about me thinking I lost my Switch and hearing footsteps wasn't already, like, kind of creepy enough. Now I'm hearing about somebody driving by that has, like, a very similar car to mine that may have came by my parents' place, and I don't think my car would have been stolen, but I don't know if it's impossible to rule out the possibility that some asshole around the apartments knows how to fucking hotwire cars and would have stolen it. I would hope not, but that's not something I would expect is very likely. Okay, give me a second or two. Let me see. What else is another good song out of the soundtrack? I want to get something good going before we continue with the music. We're not on the music, anything shiny. Give me a second. Let's see. Oh, here's one that'll be good. I think this is a boss theme. Yeah, this is another good theme. God, I love the Mother 3 soundtrack. Full of fucking bangers. Okay, give me a second or two. I need a moment before I continue. Oh, actually, I got something that'll be a good discussion for a little bit. Whether or not people have anything they want to say about it is not really a big deal, but what are some interesting Easter eggs you guys have seen in games that it's worth talking about? I've seen quite a few over time. One of the ones that I remember for whatever reason was from like Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. I remember when you would like be in a certain stage, you could like hit the ball at a certain angle, and if you hit it just right, you'd land it in a grass patch, and then just by like looking and being careful enough, you could see like Pikmin in the grass patch. It was a really, really neat, nice little detail that was added into the game. Totally unnecessary, but fairly good little Easter egg, and I found that to be something that was worth like bringing up. I have another one in Half-Life where if you shoot like a certain box in the beginning, if you get like the Glock, you can like find the hidden enemy that was intended to be in the game and they never put it in the game, but they left its model in the game for people to find if they looked hard enough. So that's another fun one. There's a lot of cool Easter eggs you can find if you look around in video games. I'm gonna need. I hate to say it, but like, I'm gonna need to take fucking go to the bathroom and take like a short break in a minute. I'm feeling like I need to go to the bathroom, even though we're nearly done with the shiny hunt stream today. I wish I didn't need it, but feel like I'm not gonna make it until I get done. Let's go. There's 3 trainers that Game Grumps named. That's pretty cool, actually. I wonder if they covered like all of them or what. I wonder if Ross isn't in there as well. Wouldn't be surprised. He seems like he's a fairly popular person, even outside of Game Grumps. I know he quit them, and apparently he's got a very, very good Mario Maker world. I've been watching his content a little more every now and then. Not really. I don't watch it super often, but Ross does a lot of fun stuff that's pretty good to watch. One of the better YouTubers out there, in my opinion, or streamers maybe would be the better word. See, I'm trying to think if there's any other big ones. I think Let's Go is like, I think there's like hinting if you pay attention, there's like supposed to be like, I think the third Pokeball is supposedly a Clefairy, and it's based on the fact that Clefairy was like originally supposed to be the mascot of Pokemon for Game Freak decided to change their mind about it, and they didn't think Clefairy would really work as a mascot, so they scrapped that idea, but they left Clefairy as like a Pokeball Pokemon just for the sake of like leaving a little homage to their original choice of mascot. See, I'm trying to think if there's any others. I remember a few that are pretty good as well, but I'll talk about those in a second. Yeah, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry that I have to interrupt the stream, but if I don't, it's going to be probably a little more awkward last 30 encounters, and God knows it's not a good idea to hold it in too long. I'll be back in like 5, maybe less. Probably won't need that long. I'll be back in just a few. See you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I needed to use the bathroom really badly, so did not need to be waiting on that too long. Sorry. We're all good now. Where were we? We were talking about, like, Easter eggs in video games, and I think that's a pretty fun topic of discussion, so I figured, why not continue this talking point a little bit and see what else I can think of. I'm trying to think on some good ones. I know there's one in this game where with Spiritomb, apparently the method you use, like where you talk to people in the original, like Diamond and Pearl, apparently there's like a reference to that where you can. That's how you get your hands on Spiritomb, is you have to talk to people, and then you can catch it after you talk to like a set amount of people, and then you're free to do whatever you want with it. I think that's a nice little Easter egg and a nice touch that's like very neatly related to how like the originals handled that. I think that's a good Easter egg. Also, apparently, like the intros to the Super Meat Boy games are all like different, and like runs into like say, yeah. So there runs into Mario games. I think actually, I can't remember specifically. I might turn this up just a little bit more. I hope that's okay. That'll be good. I might put it up any more than that. Again, sorry that I was AFK for a little bit. At the game trainers? I mean, I can check the picture or whatever. Let's see. Oh, nice. I didn't actually know about that. I do like how that's a thing in, like, the master trainers. Apparently every master trainer has, like, a specific, like, reference, or at least I think most of them do. I don't know all of them, but I actually didn't know all about this. I think I've seen some of these, but yeah, I didn't know all the details. I know there's a master trainer named after Gerard as well, like a dragon master trainer or something, I think. I like how they did that. It's a nice little touch, actually. Also, stream's not ending right away. I've still got another 28 encounters left, although the way things are going, that may not last a whole lot longer. I guess we'll see exactly how long it'll go on before I finally get those 28 and we can stop, but hopefully not too long. I'm looking forward to tomorrow a little bit more. Looking forward to going and playing Tetris 99 if I don't get this tonight, and doing that. I know there's a new Maximums tournament. Anybody play Tetris 99 still? I've been playing it a lot myself, but I've kind of slipped out of playing it a little bit. I've been getting better at the same time. I find it's a very, very fun, enjoyable time. So I really, really do enjoy going back to it. I've got so many wins, I can never win on stream for the life of me. It sucks. I want to try and make it fucking happen once on stream. Yeah, I might talk about it a little more, I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess I'd talk about the Easter egg stuff I was going to. I'm not really going to go on about it too much more. I mean, I'm glad I discussed that. I don't know of like enough Easter eggs in games. I only know of like so many of them, like the infamous one about the cow thing in Diablo is like a big one that I've heard of, and that's one I know of, but I don't know like enough game Easter eggs. I know there's some fun ones, like Mario RPG has like Samus and Link sleeping in some of the beds. Those are fun as hell. Fun as hell little Easter eggs that are there. Extra Nintendo characters just showing up. Brain is too small to be others in Tetris. It's not the easiest thing if you're not good at getting the line set up. It took me a long time to properly learn how to do it, and once I did, it became a lot simpler for me. The only problem is, even if you do a good job with like your lines, it can still be hard because people will go crazy on attacking you. I've seen people who literally will like go out of their way to get a bunch of people attacking somebody, and they'll all try to target one person will try to target you or whatever, and you cannot shake them because they keep dropping more and more junk on you. Thankfully, I've like learned some strats for like winning by like targeting KOs and getting people to lump onto me and try to like accumulate the amount of people who are trying to kill me at the same time, and as a result try to accumulate more trash blocks that'll occupy the screen when I get another line clear, and the more pressure they throw on me, that way the easier it is to make them feel like they need to back off a little bit. Certainly not easy, but it does work a little bit. I'm surprised I've been able to win as much as I have. I cannot play in, like, docked mode for the life of me. I'm not very good with the D-pad, but I'm also not very good using Joy-Cons separated for some reason, even though I can do it fine in handheld mode. I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't help that you can fat finger your D-pad's up button really easy if you're not paying attention, so yeah. And misplacing blocks in Tetris is like an easy way to die, honestly. Kind of thing that leads to your very, very quick demise and can ruin any type of win you've got going. Funny how Tetris 99 is one of those games where literally the tiniest mistake will fucking destroy you. Not a fun thing to put up with, though, when you're on the receiving end of it. I've had a lot of weird wins in it. Some where I do really good and decimate, then some where I don't do anything right and I still win. Like, I've had one where my screen nearly topped off and I won a game without actually killing anybody because apparently the other guy who was alive was doing equally stupid and fucked up on his block placement and ended up losing. Let's see. I have another thing I wanted to talk about for a little bit that's something that's on my mind, actually. Not really a big deal. You guys ever played like a game that's like really, really poorly translated, or played, like, watched like a show or read a manga, whatever, it's poorly translated? I think I've shown the Duang thing for JoJo before, and I found that really, really funny, and I was thinking about that a little bit earlier, and it just reminded me of this. I swear to God, there's like a good selection of these dumb ROM hacks out there on the internet where you can see people fuck about with the game, and they will literally retranslate the files, and it reads really stupidly. Like, I remember a playthrough I watched of, like, Pokemon Crystal version. It was, like, retranslated, and it was translated through Vietnamese and, like, back to English, and the fucking dialogue was so hilariously stupid and read like complete crap. Okay, I'm gonna think here. I think I got another song I can play before we stop doing more music. I think it's about time I put the normal soundtrack back on. Give me a second or two. Alright, let me hit play, and we should be good. I don't know, I find something about that kind of thing to be really fucking funny. I remember one that I really, really enjoyed that I saw, like, was it a year ago or what, in terms of, like, stupid-looking hacks or mods or whatever you want to call them. I was watching a Vinesauce stream, and the thing he was playing was fucking hilariously stupid. Basically, somebody modded Half-Life 1. They took all the dialogue. I don't remember from which like, what they did. They translated it. Was they translate? It might have been, like, already in another language. I think they took the English and translated it into something like French or something. And then they kept translating it to, like, garble up the language because Google Translate is bad about that. And they retranslated it into English, and basically, the result is hilarious because they fucking... Not only did they do this, since the game's got voice acting, like a lot of games that are like FPSs do, like, they took all the lines and re-recorded them in this fucking stupid Google Translate dialogue and, like, put it in the game as a mod. It was the funniest shit. It was so stupid and so fucking funny. I love seeing all these dumbass, like, results that crop up when you see, like, really poorly translated stuff. Oh god, we've come a long way from Google Translate being barely functional to actually being able to translate things competently. I mean, it's still not perfect, but there's something funny about watching a translator give out the worst fucking translation ever. Oh gosh. I wish I could remember some of the lines from this better, but there were some fucking funny ones, honestly. Yeah, Vinesauce is good. I enjoy it. I was watching a funny stream from that yesterday. It actually inspired me to do something, like, similar, like, Like, I was watching yesterday where there was like a stream of Vinny and Joel and they were playing Spelunky, and it was the funniest shit. They got into like a Star Trek discussion and talked about the stupidest shit, honestly. It was fucking great. They talked about like so many different scenes. I remember one of them being really fucking funny. They were talking about one of the characters who, for some reason in the episode, was sitting in a closet naked, and he fucking, was like there's like a lady talking to him about like masturbating or something really fucking weird. I've never watched any of Star Trek, but I've got to say, after listening to the Vinesauce streams, it actually has me interested in seeing like all the stupid shit. Also, his emotes are fucking hilarious. I love how one of them is just fucking Worf from Star Trek getting hit in the face by a fucking barrel, and then the emote ends. That's one of the fucking funnier emotes on the channel. Oh gosh, I'd gotta be honest, I genuinely find them to be really good. I should find it. Yeah, I'm guessing you watched Vinesauce Joel. I remember him playing that, or maybe it was Vinny, actually. Maybe Vinny played it as well, but I don't remember seeing Joel play it, but they both do some funny stuff. Joel's streams are my favorite, even though his humor is really goddamn stupid. I don't know why he makes so many poop jokes, and yet they end up being way funnier than they have any right to be. Oh my god. I genuinely enjoy watching those streams. Good shit. I could talk about a lot of my favorite streamers. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Oh, man. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else I can think of on the translation topic that I wanted to discuss, because I thought I would have a little more that I wanted to bring up, and yet nothing's coming to mind, but alright, whatever. Trying to think. I'm thinking, like, I know about, like, the Sunday streams are my favorites out of Vinny's stuff, actually. Vinny has a lot of funny Sunday content. I enjoy watching the weirder games. That's one thing I'll say I admire out of Vinesauce is how he finds so many games. I know he has, like, a team that helps vet him, or vet stuff for him, but, like, goddamn, there's so much stuff that Vinny goes through and plays on Sunday nights. It's like he does not get enough credit for all the strange shit that he plays on his streams, and I've got to be honest, it's something I think I would probably not be able to handle it very well. Also, his laugh is fucking really contagious for whatever reason. Like, every time I hear it, it makes me laugh too whenever I hear it. Shit, I was going to turn the volume back on. Give me a second. I'll make sure we do that, because I'd like to have the audio back where it's supposed to be. Yeah, there we go. That should be good. Trying to think on my favorite. He's got so many good segments. One of my favorites is when it's just like watching through like the game commercial. That's a recent thing, but it's funnier than it should be, seeing all these old out-of-touch commercials that are really fucking stupid, trying to be really hip with the kids. Like the fucking 3DO commercial, and God knows that the 3DO did not do anything to impress anybody. That was a fucking ridiculous console. I remember watching on Sunday and seeing his last stream and watching through the commercial segment, and I remember he was playing an Atari Jaguar commercial. It was the weirdest and stupidest shit, and like had some of the fucking like weirdest advertising I've ever seen. They were making like comparisons to like 8-bit, 16-bit, and like 64-bit, and like the way they were trying to like advertise the console was the stupidest shit. The commercial had like a really, really kind of dirty undertone to it. It's like, what is this fucking advertising campaign? I gotta be honest, I think of like old commercials. There's such a huge difference in the way commercials were back like 10 or 20 years ago compared to how they are now. Like back then, devs were so fucking aggressive with their game commercials, and some of their commercials were so nonsensical and stupid. Now you just see commercials that cut like straight to the point 90% of the time. I can remember a lot of dumb and really good commercials. I think GameCube had some of my favorites, though. There were some really fucking funny ones that were really, really enjoyable from the GameCube era, even though some of them were really fucking bizarre. The Pikmin 2 commercial the Mario Kart Double Dash commercial. I could go on and on. There's so many good ones that are fucking interesting. Speaking of that, Nintendo commercials in general have been a little funny. Fucking Smash 64 commercial, anyone? Fucking see all the characters, like, holding hands or walking together or whatever, and then they start beating the shit out of everybody, like, mid-walking. That's one of the funnier and also stupider commercials of, like, all time I've seen. Something I find to be really, really good, too. How are we doing on time and encounters? 9 more, I think? Okay, cool. Just double-checking to see, like, what all I had left. I'm not sure if there's anything else I want to bring up about this. I'd like to talk about commercials more, but I'm not sure if there's any more I want to add on to the subject. Here's another one for a little bit. It'll be probably good for another closing topic or two. How do you guys feel about clowns, actually? I don't really hate them. I don't find them to be too bad. I've known there's like a lot of people that are afraid of clowns. We can talk about this in a second. Check on the chat. Or left Louis. Yeah, I remember that in Pikmin 2. Although it almost seems like Louis was like trying to get left behind on purpose. Although, I don't know, seeing him like run around and just roaming around the area all by himself. Pikmin 2 had a really, really interesting plot line and bit of like character development. Like also a lot of like the stuff that went on in Pikmin 2. Fucking interesting game that made the lore in Pikmin already more interesting than it already was, and Pikmin 1 did a good job of developing shit through, like, the diary. I wish more games did stuff like that. Like, not every game, but, like, even though you don't get a, like, overarching story, like, in your face, like, you get Almar's journal entry and, like, a bit of a brief, like, talking point about, like, his like, time on Earth, basically, and, like, God, you can read his thoughts and see, like, all the things he talked about in his, like, journal entries and see what all's, like, brought up in each game or each entry. It's an experience that I found to be very, very good and very, very different from any game. Like, I like the way the lore's handled in that game really well. I kind of wish there were more games that did that. I'm sure there's a few indies that do, but that's a good way to handle, like, a game without being, like, really forced on story progression. Make it so you get to read on the character's thoughts or hear the character convey their thoughts directly. I like that about Pikmin quite a bit. They did a really good job fleshing it out like that. Almar's, like, journal entries got fucking really morbid at some point. Maybe morbid's not the right word, but I remember, like, there was an entry in Pikmin 1, if you end up going towards the bad ending for too long, you'll see Almar go crazy in one of his journal entries and talk about the fact that he wants to get left behind on Earth and then turn into a Pikmin or whatever, like he's losing his sanity, like, slowly over time. I kind of like that about the game, actually, the way the journal entries are written based on how your progress is, and if you're doing worse, then you end up getting differing, like, dialogue. Definitely something that's pretty damn good, in my opinion. Also, the Pikmin series is a fucking blessing. I love it. I could talk about Pikmin for so much time. Like, I genuinely love Pikmin. Her mechanic there is flying Pikmin 1 or food and Pikmin 3. I'd say probably, like, the Pikmin 3 mechanic is definitely better in concept. It's a little too easy. Pikmin 1 has still got a, like, fairly forgiving and still simple enough concept to get, so I'd probably give it more points, even if it's a little more stress-inducing. Pikmin 3 gets a lot of points for being creative. Unfortunately, the game is very, very short, in my opinion, and I'd say it's not as entertaining as some of the others. It's still good and a very, very fun game, and biggest complaint is the fact that it wasn't absorbed in the story. That's what I liked about Pikmin 1 and 2 a lot, actually, compared to Pikmin 3, is that Pikmin 3's story doesn't feel personal. Pikmin 1 and 2, you can relate to Almar pretty well. Almar's kind of the everyman, and you can kind of relate to his struggle. Almar just wants to go back to his home and go back and spend time with his family, and meanwhile, you get to Pikmin 3, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna save the world and get all this fruit and whatever, and you lose your ship key or whatever, but that's like, I don't know, this doesn't really equal out to the same amount of like cool writing that Pikmin 1 and 2 had. Pikmin 1 and 2 were just really good. I like that Olimar not a selfless character like every other Nintendo protagonist. Like, he actually has it in life. He wants to focus on his wife and kids, and he wants to be back at home where he knows he's safe and taking care of his family, and God knows his fucking boss is like making him feel like he can't handle his everyday life by smothering him in responsibilities every time he gets any free time. Like, I feel bad for the character. Like, Olimar was built up as a very, very good protagonist, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't blame your brother on that one. Hey Pikmin was a kinda game overall. It wasn't completely terrible, but it wasn't that good, so I would say I didn't really find it to be anything that I loved playing. It wasn't something I found to be that exciting overall. Actually, you know, I should heal, and then I can come back and save the game and stop. I hate that I have not gotten anything. We're almost at 3,000 encounters, and I just want this shiny hunt to end. And yet, here we are. I guess we're gonna have to keep continuing. I'll do some more in 2 days from now, because tomorrow we're gonna do some Tetris 99, do the Kirby Fighters 2 theme instead of doing like Pokemon. I want to explore the new theme and check it out. Also, probably gonna squeeze in a Monster Hunter Rise session once I go past 3,000 encounters, whether or not I have a shiny actually, just so I can check out the demo and give myself a little space away from this game. Wish this shiny hunt would be going a little bit better, though. For the record, I'm just clarifying a few things before we stop stream. Sorry if this isn't anything interesting. Oops, I went the wrong spot. But yeah, next 2 streams of Pokemon are going to be a lot shorter, not even because of the smoke ball. That'll help some, but when it comes to, like, how the next 2 streams are going, I'm going to do 150 each of the next 2 streams. So today's Thursday, right? So on Saturday and Sunday, it'll be 150 each, so I can get to 3,000 without pressing myself to do like extra time. I can take a little bit of time away from the shiny hunting without feeling like I'm wasting any, and I'll do 200 again after I get done with that. Whew, this is a fun stream though. I mean, I wouldn't mind talking longer and doing more, but I'd feel like I'm tired and I want to think on some stuff anyway and take a resting point, and I'll be glad tomorrow I'll get a shorter stream to do instead. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I'm done here for tonight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a dose of some Tetris 99 pretty much, and yeah, you know what's going on. I'll be back tomorrow, probably back for quite a few days and the rest of the week, so see you guys later. Thanks for dropping by.